Superman here with Demon Front on the Polygame Master arcade system. Polygame Master, if you don't know, is a system by IGS, the International Games Systems, and they're a company out of Taiwan, and it's a system that's kind of aimed squarely at the market that SNK built up with the Neo Geo MVS, and that it's a real quick drop-in system that you can just chuck into any of your cabinets, and the games are also pretty inexpensive and easy to drop in. So it was perfect for the cash-strapped arcades of the early 2000s, late 90s era. And because this is a little newer than Neo Geo MVS, it's got a little bit of a edge in power, so you can see more fluid animation, that kind of thing out of this system. Now, Demon Front, as you've probably seen here, is it's a run and gun, pretty similar to the Metal Slug series, and it takes a lot of inspiration just with the overall art style and that kind of thing. But it also, like Metal Slug, it's a three-button game, but the buttons work a little differently. So in this game, a Demon Front, the A button is your shoot button, much like in Metal Slug, but it's also a button you use to charge up this little hovering satellite pet, and then you can throw that at enemies, and they all kind of work a little differently. Also, the B button is jump, and as you can see on the screen, they're also using it after you jump. You can press and hold it to get a little bit of a hover, which hasn't proven too terribly useful to me. The third button has actually been the least useful to me, probably because I haven't gotten very far in this game yet, but it's the shield button, and what it does is it takes your little orbiting pet thing and pulls him in so you can't use him as a grenade anymore, but he turns him into a shield. The downside to this is the shield's got a very large hitbox, so that shield's gone fairly quickly. You press the C button again to pull your little buddy back out so you can use him for grenades again. So let's get a credit going. Now here's your character select screen. I usually pick this guy for some reason. His little orbiting demon dude seems to have a nice weightiness to its hits. And one nice feature is they do let you choose your starting stage, since I never get much past, a stage or two because I don't generally continue. This is a nice way for me to see at least the first 3 stages. Some games also have kind of a neat method where they'll randomize the first few stages for the exact same reason. So here I am running along, and just a couple of screens in, we see one of the things that this game likes to do a lot, and that's kind of stop players for an awfully long amount of time. So much of your time in this game will be stopped on the screen, and sometimes on the screen you have to blow up something big, like in this one. Other times you just have to blow up a set number of really small enemies. And sometimes it's not clear which of those 2 types of screen you're on. Like this screen here, basically I've just kind of got to wait it out and blow up a bunch of enemies. It is a very pretty screen though, don't get me wrong. I really like the whole frame aesthetic, and I like the parallax scrolling there. Really nice animation on the wheels. I'm not sure if that's coming through or not. So a very beautiful game, but it tends to kind of slow you down in kind of miniature galleries quite a lot of the time. And they all seem to go on for just a little too long. Now, right now I'm at the normal difficulty level, and it's considerably harder than Metal Slug games are. Now, for a Metal Slug game, I leave it at the default level of 4, and this one I'm leaving it normal, but I can tell you this game is considerably harder. It seems like bosses and just things in general have too many hit points. Actually feels like it would flow a little nicer if maybe not everything had so many hit points. And here I've picked up a little weapon upgrade, basically the heavy machine gun of this series, whatever they call it. I'm just doing terribly. In this level, as you may notice, the floor is dropping out from under me, so it is best to go a little quickly here. If the floor does drop out from underneath you, you can always make it. It adds some more platforms up top. But when you're crawling through here slowly from up top, it's pretty much no fun. Also, a lot like Metal Slug, just touching enemies does not kill you. They have to hit you with a grenade or a club or some kind of a weapon that's on them. Alright, now we got a little vertical bit. Nope, shooting gallery first. Ooh. For the purpose of the video, yes, I think we will continue. I would like to get up to a boss here. Clearly I'm not the best at this game. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it yet. But I'm liking what I see so far. And while I'm not entirely out of Metal Slugs, that fan just kind of pulls you in. Well, I'm not out of Metal Slugs, I'm out of the inexpensive ones. So pretty much the only one I've got left are, I can get 5, and I can get 6 for a Thomas Wave. That's pretty much my upgrade path. I'm playing more Metal Slugs. So here we are, stopped at another screen, destroying small enemies. They look like bats strapped to rockets. And there's another virtually identical screen, except the bats are moving a little more aggressively, and they'll have quite a few more patterns. Jeez. So, like Metal Slug, also you have a close-up attack, a little knife that you use whenever you're within range of an enemy. So here's the boss here. Just kind of charge this guy up. He's in a spot that's kind of annoying to hit. Yes, we will actually continue. We'll probably continue about twice more on this boss. Even with my hover, I don't get a real lot of time to shoot this guy. Although without the hover, this would be really annoying. Machine gun. Can I go down there? Oh. The only reason I thought that I could is there's a few sections where it looks like there's enough ground down there to actually stand on. Sure, why not? Already put about $1 into this thing. So rare for me to get a new running gun that I'm really just enjoying this time I have with it, just completely sucking. Oh. Ooh. Oh, and then I can shoot this thing and get coins out of it. And whatnot. Oh, that's kind of terrible. So I guess it's a good time to bring up then that there's also an internet kind of high score feature to this game. And after you decide not to continue, then it does display a code where you can go out to the IGS Taiwan website and put it in. Of course, that was, this is a 15-year-old game, so that's no longer up. I think they still feature some PGM2 games, but that's as old as they get. And PGM2 is just another system that was the successor to one. There aren't nearly as many games on PGM as there are on Neo Geo, but there is quite a variety. I've got a couple other games. I've got Dragon World 2 on the way, and that's the sequel to Dragon World, which is an IGS game that weirdly I already own. It's just a JAMA board. And then I have a Photo Y2K, which is a Spot the Differences game that doesn't use a touchscreen but a joystick. And you wouldn't think that'd be great, but it kind of is, because when you're not using a touchscreen, that means that you then have two-player competitive play. So that's kind of a unique thing there. It's a pretty fun game. There's a fair number of kind of card games, gambling games, that kind of thing. Yeah, let's not continue. Let's kind of wrap this one up here. I just kind of want to show off. High score screen is all in a language I don't know, so I usually just go TJ equals 7 degrees square, whatever that means. It's got 4 letters. It's probably profane in some way. Let's hope. But anyway, here's the internet rank code and the site link here. So they give you actually a generous amount of time to copy it down. In fact, you can't really get out of it or do anything about it. You can hit start after a while, and then it displays your high score. I always pick the same name, whatever name that happens to be. So, till next time, this has been Reaperman with Demon Front.